Welcome back. We have 347 stories on real life, realcopstoriesvideos.com, and look them all up. They're my babies. I don't want to preface them too much. I want to tell you what happened on the next one. Work in narcotics, but we also get tasks. We are a surveillance squad for other divisions to help them on investigations. And one of the units that called us was robbery homicide, and they handle you've seen on TV. We've been doing it for years, but TV now it's the flavor of the month. Is these unsolved crimes? These old crimes. I'm trying to think of the name they use for them. I'm okay. It'll come to me in a minute. Okay, but and so they're redoing these cases where we now have DNA and stuff that we never had before in the 80s and 90s. Now they're doing them again. Cold case files. Thank you. And so one of the suspects, and what happens when they're investigating this, they have to have enough to get a search warrant. They're trying to compare DNA, and in order to get a search warrant, you have to have enough probable cause to get one. Well, sometimes they don't have it. Okay, trying to build a case, and they're not going to lie or anything like that. We're going to do it by the numbers, because when you go to court, you can't lie, and the court will decide whether you're right or wrong, or whether it's lawful or unlawful, or whatever we did was correct. So they want to make sure it's right down the line. So they called us and said, we'd like to do some DNA collection on this one suspect. Can you do it, undercover? Oh, sure, because we've done one before. Actually, we hadn't done it yet. This is our first one. I have another one coming up that we did. Okay, anyway. So my lady officer was an EMT, so she came up with 10 kits. She made 10 kits, plastic Ziplocs, with swabs, cotton swabs, envelopes, to secure any kind of DNA we might get, or most of the time we want to get the item itself so we can give it to the experts to do it, but sometimes in the other story I'll show you why it's different. This is, okay, so anyway, so we set up on the guy in the morning, and again, we're just following to see what's involved in. We're trying to get, DNA. So we haven't done this before, so usually we follow criminals, but this is possible criminal, could be involved in a murder, an old murder, so it's enough for me, it's enough for them to put interest in it. We're not going to arrest him, we're just watching him. You never know who's watching you if you're a bad guy. So he worked in the garment district in downtown Los Angeles. So we woke him up, and we followed him all the way into the garment district. So he's walking around there, and and we're looking for him a place to go get something to eat and get his utensils, his glasses, drinking glasses, whatever. No, didn't eat. He bought a burrito off a truck. He's eating a burrito because they park all around the garment district. I'm going, okay, we've been in on him for 3-4 hours now. He goes into his office, and we can't go in there because it's one of these places where they sell dresses, and it's a large cubicle type thing. It's probably a width of maybe 20 feet wide by 60 feet deep, and just full of dresses. And he's in the office at the back. So we had guys walk by. There's no way you could get in there. I mean, unless you're a lady buying something, anyway. So we waited a couple of hours, and he comes out. Well, he comes out, and he's got a soda can, okay, and it was I won't give you the name, doesn't really matter, I guess, but it was a Pop-It soda, okay. And it's red cans. We can identify it from far away, and we're broadcasting. Okay, he's got a can in his mouth. We want that can. We want that can of soda. So he drives around. He's talking to some people on the street, and he's getting ready to get in his car, and he throws it into one of those huge climb-in dumpsters. Okay. So one of my guys yells out, "Oh!" and he starts to drive away. "I got it, boss. I got it. I'm on it." Okay. So the guy drives off. I'm back in line trying to make some calls. I get some calls. So guys are behind him. And the last thing I see as I go by is my guy basically jumping into the dumpster to get that can. I'm looking like, whoa, that's a dedicated employee. Well, all my guys are dedicated, including myself. We all took care of each other, very tight, very close-knit unit, been together years. So I'm thinking, okay, see what he's got. Okay, so we're following the guy around. He goes back to the garment district, and about that time, that young officer comes on the air, and he goes, I got it. I said, okay, go over here in one corner, we'll meet you there. I told the guys, let's pull off this guy. We got the sample. So we all roll back to a corner. We get out. He's got this big smile on his face. He got a big manila envelope, stuck it in there. He goes, I got it. And I said, well, okay, now, just for you, because you might have to go to court, the guy's convicted for murder or something, what else was in there? Because the defense is going to say, well, there was 20 cans in there, even though it's obvious. So why then is his DNA on this one can? Which is a good argument. I mean, you could say there's, He goes, no, there's nothing in there. What do you mean? He said, it's empty. It must have just emptied it. What? So I drove back with him. And I'm not questioning him. I want to see it for myself. And we looked in there, completely empty. That was the only can in there. And so we draw another dumpster. We drove up the block to another one. Look in there. They had literally just emptied them. Talk about the odds against you on something like that. Okay, so there's no defense there. And I said, well, we do the other container. That way you can go to court and tell them that we checked other containers and they're all empty. So obviously they emptied them. And then he put a new can in there. It's, oh, that's good. He's a young officer. That's good. I think, you got to think ahead of these guys. He's an attorney trying to get you. Okay, fine. So we called the big boys. They couldn't get down there fast enough. Okay, usually we have to go up. No. They said, where are you at? We'll bring somebody down there right now. So somebody drove, a detective, robbery, homicide, picked up the can, thanked us, and we just went and had lunch, and then we got ready for the next day. That's it. Okay. Well, we got a call like a couple days later because they sent the can right to the scientific investigation people, and they got a DNA sample off it, but it wasn't the suspect they're looking at. Okay, so it was a miss. But they didn't care. They called my captain. They said, this is great. And he says, use them again. Well, more than happy to help you out. This is not hard work here. It's real simple stuff. And so later on, I'll share another story, which was similar to this, but a little more gross, but not really that gross, but it was a little bit. So that's DNA collection. And when I left, they were doing a lot more of those after I left. That was more towards the end of my career. We were doing this. And I found out when I left, they were getting one of these collection assignments about every other week because of old cold case files, old cases. Now, not to get a warrant. Now, if they get DNA on the can, they can match it to him if they have DNA on file. And obviously, if they match it, they got hit. They can get a warrant, do all kinds, make an arrest and everything, and or put it on the database, see if they come up with something too on the ones that who done them. We call them who did it. Just a dead body. They find DNA on him and not his DNA. They put it in a database, and then we find somebody on saliva or so whatever. Put it in. It's a match. They got it. Okay, so that's how they do. That's the nowadays stuff they're doing, which is pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed that. Not too exciting, but it was interesting. All right, bye bye.